One of the most important things you can do as a young person on self-improvement is to create some goals. When we create goals, it gives us ambition, it gives us drive, it gives us passion. It is the thing that wakes us up in the morning and makes us want to do the hard work, especially when we don't feel like it. Because when we don't set goals, life happens to us. It sort of grabs us by the leg and drags us round, and because we don't have those goals in mind, we aren't able to break free and we aren't able to pursue the path that we choose to. And that can lead to some very unhappy lives being lived. I know this because I was one of them. At the beginning of this year, when I was at university, I didn't have any goals. I didn't have anything that got me out of bed that was long term and that would benefit me in any way. I would wake up and I would just do every single bad habit that was bad for me. You know, I would smoke cigarettes constantly. Like, I would get through a pack maybe every 2 or 3 days. Sometimes I got through a pack a day. That's how bad it got. In the evenings, I would just get a 6-pack of beer, just drink it by myself in my room by myself, and it was very depressing. But that was just something I knew. That was just something that I just did on autopilot. I didn't realize the negative effects that it was having on me. And I would order so much, man. I would order lots of food, especially Domino's. Domino's was my big vice. You know, I'd order a pizza and then I'd order a tub of ice cream to go with it, and I'd eat the pizza and then I'd finish the tub as well. Like, it was bad. It was really bad. And I sort of was giving in to all these sources of instant gratification. And because I didn't have any goals, I didn't have any motivations that kept me in check, it led me down a very nihilistic path where I didn't care and nothing seemed to matter to me in life. And because of that, I had the excuse of being able to do whatever I wanted at the cost of my health and my happiness. When I moved home and all those habits started to become harder to do because you had people to keep you in check, I had my mum and I had my sister, suddenly it sort of made me look inwards and realize, hang on, I've sort of been giving into these sources of instant gratification for too long, and it's made me very unhappy. Something needs to change. And while I was going down the self-improvement rabbit hole, I discovered the importance of setting goals, long-term goals specifically, not just, new year, new me type stuff, like full on 10 years from now, where do you want to be? What do you want to achieve? And this had a very profound impact on me as a person. Once I discovered goals and I discovered, wait, hang on, I can set a goal for the next 10 years and I can try and achieve it. And once I did that, it's the weirdest thing. All the bad habits, they don't go away instantly. Bad habits don't go away, like that. But when you create an environment where you want to improve and be better, setting goals, creating a schedule, having a routine, suddenly those bad habits become much harder to enjoy in good conscience. And so once I set those goals, over time, I began to drop those habits less and less. And it's been very beneficial to me. I haven't binge ate in a very, very long time. I haven't smoked in a while, or I did break my streak a little while ago, but that was because I was really stressed out about something. It is what it is. I've been getting up earlier. That's another thing. I also would get up I would get up whenever I wanted to. I got up around 10, 11, maybe sometimes 12 every single day. Now I get up around 7:30, 8 o'clock every day. And because of that, I'm actually able to get work done, and it's been really helpful and beneficial to my overall well-being. But setting goals was one of the things that really helped me early on in my self-improvement journey. And I want to come on here today to talk to you about goals, because I think as young people, especially my generation, Generation Z, we are the first real generation without any real purpose, you know. We don't have the job market, we don't have careers, we have the gig economy, but that's not exactly great. And so I feel like a lot of young men, especially in my generation, feel are very lost and very aimless, like I used to feel. And I want to be able to show you guys that there is hope and that there is a way out of this depression and feeling of listlessness. And that is setting goals. One of the most important things you can do to get out of this is to set some goals. One of the first things I did when I set my goals was I visualized where I wanted to be in the next 5 to 10 years time. And for me, personally, I wanted to be financially free, and I want to be able to essentially live without any economic anxiety. I want to be able to do this, you know, be a bit of a digital nomad and make videos and make music and all these other things. And so that very much influenced what my goals are. So the first thing to do is to visualize where you want to be, because then that will help you set your goals that are most suited to you and your life trajectory. When you actually set the goals, this is very important. Don't make goals that sound too easy for you in the moment. I know that sounds a bit weird, but when you set a small goal, like let's say for instance, you want to make a certain amount of money every month. If you say you want to make 2K a month, that's not a lot of money. That isn't a lot of money, especially after taxes and bills, and certainly in this day and age with the sort of cost of living crisis. It's not the kind of goal that will make you leap out of bed and want you to do the work to make that goal happen. The important thing you do when you set a goal is make it sound crazy, unrealistic, and then try and achieve it anyway. So if you want to say make 2K a month, I would say, why don't you try and make 10K a month? Now 10K a month is like silly money these days. You know, you can be quite financially free if you make 10K a month, but it's also, I think a lot of people hear that and they think, oh my God, you know, that's 10K a month, that's ridiculous. 10K a month isn't difficult to achieve. There are people who have done it, you know, and if they can do it, you can as well. You know, I sound like I've done it. I haven't done it, but I'm going to try, you know, I'm certainly going to try. That's my goal, is to make 10K a month. You need to set goals that sound unrealistic, maybe to other people, but to you, you know you can do it if you set your work up to where you can actually get that done. And then once you've visualized the goals you want, once you've set them up so that they are very, very high, and it's a quick thing before we move on to the final thing. Reason why we set high goals is that if you aim for the moon, you'll reach for the stars. And that basically means that even if you just don't quite achieve your goal, like the big goal, you are still in a better place than if you had set a lower goal. You know, here's another quote for you that you can quote. The greatest fear is not that we aim too high and that we miss, it's that we aim too low and we reach our goal. And then the final thing you need to do with these goals is you need to obsess over them. Now, you need to think about them 24/7, keep them in the back of your head at all times. These are the things that will motivate you to get the work done that you need to. What I've been doing recently is I have my goals on this app called Notion. It's kind of like a file sort of thing that keeps everything in one place. It's really good. And I have a page for all my goals. I will just stare at it every now and again. I'll just stare at it, look at it, and scrutinize every single goal and think, how am I going to make that happen? And that's been a very powerful source of motivation for me, being able to look at my goals and think, yeah, I can actually do that. You know, I can get that done. I absolutely can get that done. And when you think like that, it will lift you out of that sense of nihilism and that nothing really matters. Because once you have something to strive for, suddenly life matters a lot more. And you will want to work as hard as you can to make those goals happen. So set some goals and try and reach them. And even if you don't quite reach them, the fact that you even tried is still worthy of praise. That's about it. Yeah.